Live from WRAL News headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Right now on Fox 50, a crash involving a Raleigh police cruiser shut down Brentwood Road for hours this morning. This is a live look at that scene right now. The technology police are using to investigate this crash.
And it's a cold start out there. Our temperature is sitting very close to freezing, but with the wind chill, it feels colder. I'll show you.
And it looks like it's Chapel Hill for Bill. The final details will be ironed out today after a huge announcement to bring NFL legend Bill Belichick to the Triangle. Quite possibly the worst kept secret yesterday. It got out all over the place, and we'll have the official announcement here coming up in about an hour. Board of Governors will be meeting with that. We'll get to that story in moments. Elizabeth Gardner, first off, in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now with a clear look, but a cold one.
Yeah, it's beautiful outside right now. Just feels chilly. We take a live look here at downtown Durham, the Lucky Strike Tower there. 33 degrees is our temperature in the Triangle, and our wind has dropped to calm. And that means we shouldn't see much wind chill right here in the Triangle, but there are definitely some other places that feel pretty chilly. Feels like 28 in Fayetteville. The wind chill is in the white box on the right. Feels like 29 in Roxborough and in South Hill. Of course, our winds are starting to die down. That's easing up our wind chill, which is good. And it's not going to be too windy this afternoon either. But our temperature change is huge, anywhere from 30 to about 35 degrees colder than it was this time yesterday. And that puts us in the zone for some patchy frost. You could see some of that on your windshield this morning, so keep that in mind. You may need to plan a little extra time for that. Sunshine warms us into the upper 40s for this afternoon. And from here, we keep on climbing. We'll take a look at how it will feel to get outside over the weekend.
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're staying on top of that breaking news in Raleigh's east side this morning. We're talking about a crash that shut down Brentwood and Skycrest Drive this morning. That crash involved a Raleigh police cruiser. Nick Perlin is on that scene in the WRAL breaking news tracker. Nick, what do we know right now? I can see a tow truck just showed up behind you.
Yeah, Ken, a tow truck actually showed up not only for this black car behind me, but also for the Raleigh police cruiser here. This is on Brentwood and Skycrest Drive, and we do know, we are comfortable reporting that the Raleigh police officer involved in this crash was taken to the hospital, still trying to get more information on that person's injuries. But take a look at just the amount of debris here in the middle of the intersection. It's been closed off here for roughly 4 or 5 hours now, and as we move a little bit over to the left here, there's another car. We're told again that the driver of this car potentially at some point after the crash ran out of his car, and that's why there were drones out early this morning trying to find where that person went. So very interesting how this is all unfolded. You can see tow trucks here getting ready to get rid of both vehicles. So Ken, hopefully this will be opening up here shortly. In the meantime, if people just don't want to deal with this, what's a good way to get around it?
Yeah, the best way to get around that situation there on Skycrest and Brentwood is just use Capitol Boulevard this morning. And of course, you see the congestion building on that northern loop of the Beltline coming off of Capitol Boulevard. But that's the usual morning congestion that we see during the morning. A lot of incidents dotting a live traffic map, but there are a couple of things that we will bring your attention to. And this is a crash on I-40 eastbound near the I-85 connector. You can see the huge backup it's causing. If you have anyone coming in using I-40 eastbound this morning, tell them to look for a Highway 70 exit, get off on that exit, and make their way into the Bull City or Capital City on the Highway 70 this morning. This crash in Durham has been causing quite a bit of a slowdown there in Highway 15 southbound there, Highway 751 this morning. Durham Freeway, Hillsborough Road, a couple of options for you if you happen to be navigating that section of Durham this morning. Listen, if you're coming into the Capital City, here's what you're looking at. A couple of troubled spots, and of course, Wake Forest Road, Wake Forest, so you're looking at a 12-minute delay. And I-40 eastbound, you're looking at an 8-minute delay. You're coming in from all points south on Apex and US 1, you're looking at an 8-minute delay. Of course, you're getting ready to head out this morning. We've got you covered, 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle.
In about an hour, UNC leaders will be hammering out final details of the deal bringing Bill Belichick to Kenan Stadium's sidelines. Legendary coach agreed to a 5-year deal with UNC yesterday. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from UNC, and there's been so much excitement in Chapel Hill over this move. It'll all take another step here in about an hour.
Yes, Jeff, we're just 1 hour away from UNC making this new hire official. The Board of Trustees will meet here in the South Building on campus later this morning. Now, we all know Bill Belichick as the 6-time Super Bowl champion head coach of the New England Patriots. Belichick has never coached college ball, but he has the second most wins in NFL history, 333 victories. UNC says Belichick agreed to a 5-year deal, and he already made his first hire. Former NFL general manager and executive Michael Lombardi will be UNC football's next GM. We caught up with students on campus to hear their reaction to Belichick coming on board.
I'm excited. I grew up as a Patriots fan. I'm from Massachusetts, so especially with Drake May on the Patriots now, it kind of feels like worlds colliding for me, and I'm excited about it.
And something interesting to note here, being a Tar Heel runs in Belichick's family. You could see him here as a little boy in the stands at Kenan Stadium. His dad was an assistant coach at UNC back in the mid-50s. So we'll get the official word from UNC once the Board of Trustees meets here at 9 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Chapel Hill.
We've got you covered. WRAL will have crews in Chapel Hill throughout the day as the deal to bring Belichick to UNC gets finalized. So be sure to tune in for our newscast from 4 to 7:30 this evening. We'll have live reports for you. Breaking news, meantime, this morning, a missing American man has been found alive in Syria. While speaking with reporters, the man identified himself only as Travis, saying he was from Missouri and had been detained after crossing into the country on foot in May. According to the Associated Press, he's Travis Timmerman, who had been reported missing in Hungary by authorities in Missouri earlier this year. Timmerman said he had been treated well during his months-long imprisonment. We'll hear today from more witnesses in the trial of a Raleigh grocery store owner charged with murder. Tazir Zarqa is accused of stabbing a customer to death. During the first day of testimony, 6 witnesses took the stand. A medical examiner told the court Mark Garrity was stabbed 3 times. Police showed the jury a 4-inch pocket knife they say Zarqa used. They say Garrity was trying to put a Gatorade in his bag when Zarqa confronted him. The jury also saw video of that confrontation that came from a customer who was inside the store at the time. Zarqa says it was self-defense. The trial is expected to last through tomorrow. We'll give you this look right now, a live look at the General Assembly. It is quiet there this morning, certainly not the case yesterday as protests rang out over a Hurricane Helene relief bill that also strips power away from the state Democratic leaders, including the governor and attorney general.
Shame! 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 What were you doing, boys? Or you will be arrested?
Nearly 300 protesters were inside the legislature as the GOP-led House voted to override Governor Cooper's veto of Senate Bill 382. It is now law because the Senate also voted to override it last week. Republicans have said some of the changes included in the bill are needed to improve public confidence in government. Democrats, including Governor Cooper, call it an unconstitutional partisan power grab.
You know, it's too bad that they did not put relief for Western North Carolina in this legislation and decided that they wanted to grab more power for themselves in violation of the North Carolina Constitution.
Capitol Police arrested one protester. Ann Humphreys is facing charges, including resisting a public officer. The newly passed law will likely face a legal challenge over executive power. Durham police have arrested and charged a man in connection with a shooting that killed another man. DeMonte Lewis is facing charges, including murder. The shooting happened on Guest Road in May. Police believe Lewis shot and killed Tracon George in the parking lot of a business. George died at that scene. Lewis is being held in jail without bond. President Joe Biden will commute the sentences of roughly 1,500 people who were released from prison and served home confinement during the COVID-19 pandemic. In a statement, Biden said America was built on the promise of possibility and second chances. It's the largest single-day act of clemency in modern history. Biden will also pardon 39 Americans convicted of nonviolent crimes. Improving weather is helping fire crews fight a fire in California, a major wildfire that is burning in the hills of Malibu. About 20,000 people remain under evacuation orders due to this Franklin fire. Red flag warnings have been lifted as the dangerously strong Santa Ana winds have now passed. Firefighters say the burn area is very steep, though, into those canyons, making it difficult to contain. It is unclear how the fire started. Today, President-elect Donald Trump was announced Time Magazine's Person of the Year for the second time. Here's a look at that cover just shared to Time Magazine's website. Trump was also Time's Person of the Year in 2016. He will ring the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange this morning. An anonymous $50 million donation to Duke Health will be used to implement new proton beam therapy. This is the largest gift the healthcare system has ever received. Proton beam therapy is a highly precise form of radiation. It uses protons to specifically target tumor cells, saving healthy tissue surrounding the cancer. Treatment is usually painless. Duke Health says the technology will be used on a wide range of patients and will be especially significant in treating pediatric cancers.
Protons are an important tool for treating children. Human tissues are particularly sensitive to radiation when they're growing, and radiation can impair bone and muscle growth in children. It will be enormously helpful for patients in the Triangle.
I'm going to love it's going to focus on the kids. The facility is expected to cost $120 million. It should be completed by 2029, and it'll treat about 800 patients a year. 8/11 on your Thursday. Some scary moments for more than a dozen children trapped on a school bus when a live wire fell on it. How they were able to get home safely. Plus, 5 animals died from bird flu in an Arizona zoo. How officials there believe the sickness got into that zoo.
And the colder air arrived behind yesterday's front. It's going to feel like 20s up until around lunchtime. I'll show you how much more comfortable it could feel by the weekend. $8:14, taking a look across the viewing area. Completely different weather pattern than we saw yesterday. It was rainy and warm yesterday. Exactly the opposite, sunny and cold to start with this morning. A live look at Fayetteville and Apex, Chapel Hill, courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. And our Jimmy V camera shows Fayetteville Street with a bunch of people walking around out there with their coats on for sure. There goes our front from yesterday, and high pressure is building in. High pressure systems typically bring us drying air. High pressure systems have sinking air associated with them. Sometimes it's a warming pattern. In this case, it's actually dragging down some colder air from up north. We did have a good dose of rain yesterday. We really needed it. A lot of our viewing area is under moderate drought right now. So 3 inches at Duke University, about 1.6 in Siler City, about half an inch at RDU, a little under that in Fayetteville, about 1.25 inches in Rocky Mount, and just under an inch there in Goldsboro. So everybody saw a good soaking rain, which was wonderful to see. We're still looking at only 50 to 75% of our normal rainfall in the last month. So we still have a ways to go. The next front that we're tracking back to the west on Saturday into Sunday, the rain chances, unfortunately, for Sunday are dropping. I mean, I guess fortunate or unfortunate, depending on, it is Sunday. Maybe you wanted to be outside. There is a slight chance of rain Sunday night, and then we turn a bit warmer behind that front instead of colder. It's just a 20% chance on Sunday night. Other than that, we are dry. We take a look at this front approaching us overnight Saturday night, and it looks, pretty, a lot of rainfall with that. But then all of it begins to shift northward late in the afternoon. And look how we get into Monday morning. And most of that is up to our north. Eventually, another front could sweep through and bring us some rain on Tuesday. But right now, the weekend is really looking dry. It'll be cool both days, 50s on Saturday and Sunday, and mostly cloudy Sunday. But we're not looking at any rain. We do have a chance for some wetter conditions as we get a little closer to Christmas. We'll keep our eye on that. We're excited about hosting the holiday parade on WRAL starting at 10 o'clock on Sunday. I'll walk you through the temperatures for the parade hour by hour. Coming up, Ken.
Elizabeth, we're staying on top of that breaking news in Raleigh's east side this morning. A crash on Brentwood Road and the intersection of Skycrest Drive, shutting down that intersection. Here's a live look at that scene, courtesy of photographer Charles Bradley. You can see the tow truck just showed up pulling away that police cruiser. Also, that intersection remains closed this morning. And Nick Perlin is on that scene. He'll have a live report coming up at the bottom of the hour right here on Fox 50. Elsewhere around the Triangle and surrounding communities, a lot of incidents dotting our live traffic sensors this morning. But the two that I want to bring your attention to is this crash on I-40 eastbound there near the I-85 connector. If you have anyone coming in on I-40 East this morning, tell them to look for an Highway 70 exit, get off on that exit, and make their way into the Bull City and Capital City this morning. This crash on 15 and 751 just cleared, but we're still seeing the lingering delays in that area on 15-501 this morning. So it's cleared up, so nothing to worry about there this morning. In terms of the major routes coming into the Capital City, there are a couple of troubled spots. The real one, US 1 coming in from Wake Forest, built in an extra 13 minutes. If you're coming in from Apex on US 1, you're looking at a 7-minute delay, as well as a 7-minute delay on I-40 eastbound this morning. In the Bull City this morning, really the troubled spot is here. You're coming in on I-40 eastbound from Chapel Hill, you're looking at a 6-minute delay. Always tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle.
FBI Director Christopher Wray says he'll resign before President-elect Donald Trump takes office. Wray's announcement was expected as Trump had recently put Kash Patel in as his choice for FBI Director, even though Wray still had 3 years left on the job. In a post to Truth Social, Trump called Wray's resignation a great day for America. Patel met with Republican senators on Capitol Hill yesterday, and he says he looks forward to his confirmation and a smooth transition at the FBI. Attorneys for the man accused of trying to assassinate President-elect Trump in Florida are trying to delay his trial. Ryan Ruth's attorneys asked a judge to move his trial from February 10th until December of next year, citing a mountain of electronic evidence. Ruth's legal team is also considering invoking an insanity defense. Federal prosecutors say December 2025 is just not feasible. The judge says she'll make a decision soon. The Pentagon is weighing in on the mysterious drones spotted flying over New Jersey. During a briefing yesterday, the Pentagon says the drones are not U.S. military drones or from a foreign entity. New Jersey state lawmakers and local leaders there who attended that briefing say they have very few answers about all this. According to Homeland Security, the sightings started more than 3 weeks ago with drones flying nearly every night, sometimes for 6 to 7 hours. At least 5 animals are dead after getting sick with bird flu at a zoo in Arizona. A mountain lion and a cheetah are among those animals that died, according to the zoo's president. It is believed a wild bird flew into the zoo, spreading the virus. Enclosures are now being heavily sanitized and animals regularly tested to prevent any further spread. Dangerous live wires trapped more than a dozen children inside a school bus in Connecticut. Heavy rain and strong winds brought the wire down on the bus yesterday evening. Crews were able to shut the power off, though, and then safely rescue 13 students and the driver. The kids were loaded onto another bus, which finished taking them home. More than 30 billion pounds of plastic end up in the ocean each year. One couple's mission to clean up America's largest river basin, Brad Hicks, shows us how they are turning trash into treasure.
Early morning on the Ohio River.
Considering the fog, we stay close to shore.
On a barge 50 miles downstream from Cincinnati.
And we're going to be working up by the island on that side.
The garbage gang is getting ready. They're taking volunteers from food giant Archer Daniels Midland on a trash collecting trip.
Got it. CrossFit.
Let's clap it out for that crew.
The cleanup is the life's work of Chad Progracki.
Great people, getting a lot of stuff.
More than 25 years ago, he started Living Lands and Waters, a nonprofit focused on cleaning up waterways in the Mississippi River Basin and beyond. To date, they've collected 14 million pounds of trash in 21 states.
It's not just the tonnage, it's also the number of people we've worked with. I think it's up to like 132,000 volunteers.
But there was a problem.
Probably out of the 14 million pounds, 10 million pounds of it was plastic.
Bulky, rigid plastics that no one would take.
And we just knew there could be something better done with it.
And after some time, decided, hey, let's make pallets out of them.
The hard plastic they collect gets chopped up, ground up, melted, molded, and presto, pallets.
They're ideal for automation. They're more sanitary. They're weather and chemical resistant. You don't have any broken wood pieces to clean up. There's no protruding nails that are ripping through product.
Plus, they're reusable and they save trees. Tammy is perhaps the only female owner of an industrial plastics company in the world.
We make a good team.
Yeah, we do.
We make a good team.
A husband and wife team, proving one man's trash is another woman's treasure.
Brad Hicks reporting right there. Reusable, they don't burn in big piles, they're perfect. People in Raleigh have another chance to tell city leaders how they should spend the tax dollars. Tonight is the final Zoom meeting to share insight on city budgeting. The meeting begins at 6 p.m. You can find a link online at raleighnc.gov. There'll also be a total of 6 in-person sessions scheduled through January. You can find those times and locations online as well. This Sunday, WRAL and Fox 50 are your homes for NFL football. First up, it is an NFL doubleheader on Fox 50. At 1 o'clock, Carolina Panthers host the Dallas Cowboys at Bank of America Stadium. After that, at 4:25, the Battle of Pennsylvania as the Pittsburgh Steelers travel east to Philadelphia to play the Eagles. Then you can turn it over to WRAL for Sunday Night Football. The Seattle Seahawks host the Green Bay Packers with kickoff for that at 8:20. Today, UNC leadership will approve the hiring of former NFL coach Bill Belichick. His Tar Heel background that likely drew him to the job, even though he has never coached at the college level. The protest.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
8:26, the time of your Thursday morning. I'm Jeff Hogan. We are at the height of rush hour right now for our morning commute. Ken Smith in the WRL Traffic Center.
Yeah, a lot of incidents dotting our live traffic map this morning, but really the one trouble spot we've been reporting on all morning is this crash at Brentwood and Skycrest, shutting down that entire intersection. Here's a live look courtesy of photographer Charles Bradley of that scene. You can see the tow truck drivers just showed up. We know that injuries were involved in this crash and that at some point Nick Perlin is going to be there giving us a live report at the bottom of the hour. And of course, I'll have an update on all these incidents coming up at the bottom of the hour over at Fox 50.
And our temperatures are much colder this morning, in the low 30s for Durham, Raleigh, and Fayetteville. But it's a pretty start with all that sunshine. And we'll see sunny skies all day. It's just feeling like 20s right now with the wind chill. But we'll see temperatures warming up this afternoon into the upper 40s. If you're walking the dog after work, it's not too bad out there. Temperatures will be in the low 40s.
Bill Belichick's one step away from officially becoming UNC's next head football coach. Today, UNC's Board of Trustees and Board of Governors will meet. It's coming up in about a half hour. Belichick and the Tar Heels announced the agreement yesterday, reportedly a 5-year deal. A bill that provides Helene relief and also strips power away from state Democratic leaders is now law. Hundreds of protesters were inside the legislature as the House voted to override Governor Cooper's veto of the bill. One protester was arrested on charges including resisting a public officer. Next on Fox 50, details on the annual state capitol tree lighting happening tonight. And on today, Lisa Kudrow stops by Studio 1A.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
A crash involving a Raleigh police cruiser closes this intersection for hours this morning. This is what it looks like right now. A live look at the cleanup happening there. What we have learned from investigators on that scene.
And it's a pretty view all across our viewing area this morning. Lots and lots of sunshine, but temperatures much colder. We'll talk about what it will feel like with the wind chill when you step out.
About a half hour away from it becoming official with Bill Belichick coming to Chapel Hill. We'll tell you how former players are reacting after the NFL legend agreed to a deal to coach Tar Heel football. 8:30 is the time right now. I want to thank you for staying with us here at this hour. On your Thursday, it is very clear. I'm Jeff Hogan. It's very clear outside and still cool. Elizabeth Gardner with a look at that temperature there. At least the wind chill, not a factor.
Right now, we're looking at calm winds here in downtown Raleigh, so that's a great thing because it is 33 degrees. And sometimes, of course, Fayetteville Street acts like a wind tunnel, and it's really chilly. Plenty of people out and about this morning, all dressed up in their coats. It is nice and sunny and beautiful, but but our temperatures in some places are running 30 degrees colder than this time yesterday. Here's a look at the wind chill, still in the 20s in Fayetteville, Roxborough, and South Hill. But as we get through the next hour or so, we'll start to see a bit of a warm up, and it definitely is much more comfortable this afternoon, running, like I said, 30 to 35 degrees colder than this time yesterday. And you could have some frost on your windshield if you are like me and don't have a garage. So you may have to deal with that at least for a little while longer. As the sun comes up, it'll start to melt some of that frost. Highs this afternoon will be in the upper 40s, and it should feel a bit more comfortable over the weekend. We'll take a look at that coming up, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in WRAL traffic, sent a lot of icons dotting our traffic map, but the one major story we've been following this morning, this crash at Brentwood and Skycrest Drive involving a Raleigh police cruiser this morning, shutting down that intersection. Nick Perlin is there in the WRAL breaking news tracker. Nick, what do you know so far?
Well, Ken, a lot of new information that we just found out about 15 minutes ago. I do want to tell you the cleanup is happening right here behind me on Brentwood and Skycrest, but I want to show you some video from the WRAL breaking news tracker. This is from early this morning. You can see that Raleigh police cruiser here. It was involved in that crash, and we know that the Raleigh police officer was taken to the hospital. There was tons of debris here throughout the morning, and this black car was also involved. Now, we're told that this black car at around 4 this morning blew through a red light and ended up hitting that Raleigh police officer. Again, that Raleigh police officer was taken to the hospital with minor injuries, but at some point after this crash, the person in that black car ran away from the crime scene. At around 6, we reported that there were drones actually out trying to find that one person. Not sure if they know where that person is at this point in time, but we do know that the Raleigh police officer is expected to make a recovery. But at this point in time, this intersection behind me still closed as they work to tow those cars out of here and remove the debris still in the middle of this intersection. So Ken, if there's a way to get around this, what's a good way to do that?
Yes, a lot of vehicles turning around behind you there, but really and truly, Capitol Boulevard is your best bet to avoid Skycrest and Brentwood Road this morning. Elsewhere, we see a lot of icons dotting our maps. Really, none of these crashes is really causing any major delays, but there's one I want to tell you about. It's likely in the clearing phase. This crash on I-40 eastbound near the I-85 connector. Even though it's in the clearing phase, Highway 70 is a nice alternate route. So if you have anybody coming in from all points west using I-40 eastbound this morning, just let them know, get off on any Highway 70 exit and make their way into the Bull City and the capital city as well. This crash on Glenwood Avenue near Westboro Drive are not causing any problems in that particular area. A little farther up from that crash scene, we've got a disabled vehicle there not far from the Bride Creek Parkway, but again, not causing any problems for you this morning. You're getting ready to head out anytime during this morning. We've got you covered. 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle or 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham.
In about a half hour, UNC will start to hammer out the final details on the deal to make Bill Belichick the Tar Heels' next head football coach. The legendary coach agreed to a 5-year deal with UNC yesterday. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from UNC with excitement building here to finalize. They'll have a vote here in about 30 minutes, Kelsey.
Yes, Jeff, we're less than 30 minutes away from UNC making that new hire official. The Board of Trustees will meet here in the South Building on campus in less than 30 minutes. So we all know that Bill Belichick, as the 6-time Super Bowl champion head coach of the New England Patriots, Belichick has never coached college ball, but he has the second most wins in NFL history, 333 victories. UNC says Belichick has agreed to a 5-year deal, and he already made his first hire. Former NFL general manager and executive Michael Lombardi will be UNC football's next GM. We caught up with students on campus to hear their reaction to Belichick coming on board.
I think that's helpful, though, that he has coached the NFL. I know he's going to try to implement some of the stuff he's done in the NFL on a higher level into this college team. So I think that'll be helpful getting the guys ready for like the next level.
And something interesting to note here, being a Tar Heel runs in Belichick's family. You can see him here as a little boy in the stands at Kenan Stadium. His dad was an assistant coach at UNC back in the mid-50s. So we'll get the official word from UNC once their Board of Trustees meets this morning at 9 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Chapel Hill.
I'm Brett Neese here in the WRAL Live Center, where the Durham Bulls are getting in on the excitement about the Bill Belichick hire. This is what they just posted to their social media pages. You can see this interestingly photoshopped picture of Coach Belichick there wearing a Durham Bulls cut-off sleeved hoodie there. And their tweet says, y'all are never going to believe who dropped by tonight. We're on to Norfolk. That, of course, the "We're on to Norfolk" is in a nod to one of Belichick's most famous moments, which was in a press conference a few years ago in the playoffs where he said, "We're on to Cincinnati." Now take a look at this, though. The Durham Bulls also selling some cut-off sleeved hoodies, also in a nod to Belichick. So you can go online and get you one of those if you're a fan of that legendary coach.
You know they'll be cutting the sleeves off the hoodies. WRAL will have crews in Chapel Hill throughout the day as the deal to bring Belichick to UNC gets finalized. So be sure to tune in for our newscast, noon 4 to 7:30 this evening. We'll have live reports there. We will hear from more witnesses today in the trial of a Raleigh grocery store owner charged with murder. Tazir Zarka is accused of stabbing a customer to death. During the first day of testimony, 6 witnesses took the stand. The medical examiner told the court Mark Garrity was stabbed 3 times. Police showed the jury a 4-inch pocket knife they say Zarka used. They say Garrity was trying to put a Gatorade in his bag when Zarka confronted him. The jury saw a video of that confrontation that came from a customer who was inside the store at the time. Zarka says it was self-defense. This trial is expected to last through tomorrow. A second person has been charged in the death of 7-year-old Zion Gibbs. The boy died in a drive-by shooting in Fayetteville earlier this year. Police say 20-year-old Antori Porter was the one who pulled the trigger. He's charged with first-degree murder. 19-year-old Sierra Chambers was also arrested. Police say she drove the vehicle. She is also charged with murder. Investigators are gathering more evidence in the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Investigators say the weapon 26-year-old Luigi Mangione had when he was arrested in Pennsylvania matches the shell casings from the Manhattan crime scene. A senior law enforcement official says his fingerprints match prints found near the crime scene. Mangione is in jail in Pennsylvania. United Nations General Assembly overwhelmingly approved resolutions demanding an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. The resolution was only rejected by 9 members, including Israel and the United States. Last month, a similar resolution was vetoed by the U.S. at the UN Security Council. Although General Assembly resolutions are not binding, they do provide insight into worldwide opinions. Durham police have arrested and charged a man in connection with a shooting that killed another man. DeMonte Lewis is facing charges including murder. The shooting happened on Guess Road in May. Police believe Lewis shot and killed Trocon George in the parking lot of a business. George died at the scene. Lewis is being held in jail without bond. A fraternity at NC State is being disbanded. Its members are left now looking for new housing for next semester. Emails acquired by WRAL show the 27 members living at the Delta Sigma Phi house on campus need to be out by December 22nd. The university points to 2 student conduct cases filed against the fraternity earlier this semester, as well as violations for alcohol, university policies, and housing standards. The chapter president is appealing the ruling. The Christmas tree at the state capitol will be lit tonight. This is video from last year's celebration with the lighting of the state Christmas tree, considered the official start of the holiday season in the Tar Heel State. The festivities begin on Capitol Square at 5:30 tonight with holiday music performed by the Raleigh Concert Band. The ceremony will start shortly after 6. Now, if you're out after dark and it's still clear like it is now, be sure to look up this weekend. A celestial event will bring hundreds of meteors to the sky when you have the best chance of experiencing those shooting stars. And brown snow fell from the sky this week in one town in Maine. Why a paper mill is responsible for the strange colored snow. And it's a cooler start today. Be sure to bundle up before you head out the door. This is a live look right now. Pinehurst Resort and Country Club, home of the famed Pinehurst #2. Blue skies right there in the Sandhills. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner explains what is keeping our temperatures, though, in the 50s throughout the weekend. 8:44 is the time right now as we give you this live look. Our WRAL live cam network takes us to Wilmington, the Cape Fear River right there. Boy, you dip a toe there, it's going to be chilly down there as you watch WRAL News. Available on Spectrum and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device. Elizabeth Gardner brings us back to the Triangle here.
Yes, it looks beautiful outside. Look at that deep blue sky here over Apex. We're taking a look down Salem Street. Plenty of people out and about, but definitely bundled up as our temperatures are so much colder than they were this time yesterday. It was just a completely different pattern yesterday. It was warm and it was rainy. Boy, was it rainy. 33 degrees right now, our dew point 27. So there's still just a bit of moisture left in the atmosphere, enough for some patchy frost on your windshield this morning. 33 in Fayetteville and Durham, 36 South Hill, 30 degrees in Southern Pines. We're starting to see those temperatures creep up just a little bit. Our 24-hour temperature change, though, in a lot of places is 25 to 30 degrees colder than this time yesterday. That's a big difference. In the wintertime, we'll see 15 to 20 degree difference, from time to time, but 30 is really something. Our winds this afternoon will be gusting 10 to 15. It's not going to have a big effect on the way things feel this afternoon, but it is this morning. Our hour-by-hour wind chill is in the 20s all the way up until lunchtime, when we'll be looking at 32 degrees and then feeling a little more comfortable as we get through the afternoon. Taking a look at our Weather Watcher photo from today, Donna Richardson from Wendell sent us this beautiful sunset here. We love your Weather Watcher photos. Go to WRAL.com, search Weather Watchers, and let us know what's happening in your backyard. Taking a look at what's happening in your backyard this afternoon, only 49 degrees. That is colder than our normal high, 56, but we're close to normal Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then we start a warm up. Same thing with the overnight lows. In the morning tomorrow, we're looking at upper 20s and close to that Saturday, but looking at warmer temperatures as we start next week. Our normal low is 35. Heading out this weekend, yeah, we're good to go. Green lights for Saturday and Sunday. We'll see sunshine Saturday, more clouds on Sunday. High temperatures will be in the mid-50s each day. There could be some rain Sunday night, but nothing headed our way for the Durham Holiday Parade. We broadcast that on WRAL at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. Broadcast time 41, parade start time. In Cary, parade start time 52. Both of those parades are just beautiful. Hopefully you get a chance to get out and enjoy. We are looking at warmer temperatures in the 60s Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
An investigation is underway in Texas after a small plane crashed into this intersection here, injuring several people. It happened yesterday afternoon in Texas, about 90 minutes away from Corpus Christi down by the Gulf. Police say 4 people were taken to the hospital with injuries. The plane's pilot is also alive and was treated for injuries. Police say 3 cars were damaged when that plane crashed into the intersection. Investigators are trying to figure out if the pilot was trying to make an emergency landing at the time right there. Crews in Rhode Island worked into the night to restore power to thousands of people after damaging storm hit there. Strong winds brought down trees and power lines across the state last night. The storm also caused some flooding on the streets in Providence. President-elect Donald Trump says he wants Kari Lake to serve as the next director of Voice of America. Trump wrote on his social media platform that Lake would be nominated by the next head of the U.S. Agency for Global Media. Lake is a former news anchor in Arizona and is loyal to Trump. She recently lost her U.S. Senate bid to Democrat Ruben Gallego, as well as a run for Arizona governor in 2022. Voice of America has a broad international reach with a global weekly audience of about 326 million people. Google announced a $1 million gift to North Carolina Central University to establish an institute for AI research. Leaders at NC Central say they will be the first institute of its kind at an HBCU in the U.S. The initiative will provide cutting-edge courses, mentorship, and hands-on research opportunities with artificial intelligence.
Recognize that talent is equal, but often opportunity is not. And so our goal here is to make sure that we're leveling the playing field and making sure that everyone has an opportunity to participate, not just in the development of artificial intelligence, but the research as well.
And the grant will directly affect up to 200 students in the first 2 years. Raleigh is upgrading sidewalks all across the city. The first project includes Brighton Road, Rawls Drive, Freeman Street, Postell Street, and Coleman Street. The second includes Oxford Road, Plainview, and Vale Street, and Inglewood Lane and Norris Street are included there. The goal is to improve pedestrian and bicycle connectivity in Raleigh. Pretty soon you could skip the long security lines when you're traveling internationally at RDU. The Global Entry Program is similar to TSA's pre-check, but for international travelers. After you pay a small fee, you're vetted by Customs and Border Protection. The last step before getting into the program is an interview with Customs, but the only place to do that is Atlanta or up in D.C. at Dulles Airport. Five on Your Side spoke with Customs officials who said that could change.
The Global Entry Trusted Traveler Program is growing leaps and bounds. And for us to be able to complete those applications, we're going to look at fixed locations in the future. And Raleigh, North Carolina, Wilmington, Charleston are on the radar to have an office or a location that you could do the interview.
Last year, Customs Border Protection processed more than 3 million of those applications through the program. Well, look up to the sky the next few nights. You may see what looks like a shooting star. It's the annual Geminid meteor shower expected to peak tomorrow. The shower will continue through Christmas Eve, but it will be easiest to see in the next few days. Quite a show. You also need to find an area away from city and street lights to see it get to a dark place. The American Meteor Society says up to 120 meteors can be seen per hour during this celestial event. They are caused by dust and debris that is left in the solar system. Brown snow blanketed one Maine town this week, causing concern for people living there. City officials say the discolored snow is a result of a malfunction at a nearby paper mill. It came from a byproduct of the paper-making process called black liquor. The substance was released into the air. It's mixed with the falling snow, and officials say the brown snow is not toxic. It is a skin irritant, though. The paper mill said it's fixed the problem and was in touch with environmental officials about it. A name that is always linked to Bill Belichick, Tom Brady. Brady is celebrating Belichick's hiring at UNC, and he shared the Tar Heels Instagram post on his own story last night, adding the comments, "Congrats, coach," and the Tar Heel way is about to become a thing. Bojangles is welcoming Bill Belichick to North Carolina with open arms. The company posted on X saying the first Cajun filet is on us. Another Disney movie is getting a live-action remake, and more performers added to the Billboard Music Awards lineup. Ashley Dvorkin has this with the Hollywood Nation.
I can't wait to plan this.
I'm going to plan your wedding. Save the date for Reese and Will, Tangled Retold, and more Billboard Awards performers announced in today's Hollywood Nation.
You ain't nothing but a liar.
Additional artists have been revealed as performers at the 2024 Billboard Music Awards. Jelly Roll is part of the celebration with 2 special performances. Among other newly announced stars taking the stage are Linkin Park, Megan Moroney, and Shabuzi. The show, hosted by Michelle Buteau, airs Thursday, December 12th on Fox, Paramount Plus, and Amazon's Fire TV channels.
You coming, Blondie?
Another Disney adventure is set to get a live-action remake. Variety reports a live-action version of Tangled is in development. The 2010 Rapunzel tale was voiced by Mandy Moore and Zachary Levi. According to Variety, The Greatest Showman director Michael Gracie is in talks to direct.
How about June 1st?
The official trailer was released for the Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell comedy You're Cordially Invited, written and directed by Nicholas Stoller. The story has 2 weddings accidentally booked on the same day at the same venue, with the father of one bride and the sister of the other squaring off to hold the best celebration for their loved ones. The hilarity ensues on Prime Video January 30th.
Sorry for a little late.
Did he just wink at me?
He did. That's Ashley Dvorkin reporting. Help make the holidays warmer and brighter for our neighbors in need during WRAL Coats for the Children campaign. You can contribute right now by scanning the QR code on your screen to give any amount. You can help WRAL and the Salvation Army make a positive difference for local children. Giving a little, it always helps a lot. Before we head off the break, here are the winning lottery numbers. We will get another check on weather and traffic as the commute winds down next.